there's one story that you always tell. You told at that TED talk about your buddy who is now a good friend of yours, Kevin Berthea, right? Now, if you can, I would love, could you just walk kind of through that day and that experience for you? Because this, I think, ties everything together in terms of just that whole empathetic mindset.
Sure. And this crosses all a lot of bases, a lot of different things with this guy. So just a normal average day for a highway patrolman on a motorcycle. I'm sitting at Starbucks, right? Having my coffee down in Sausalito. Get this call of a man on the sidewalk saying that he's going to jump and he's on a cell phone. So they give me the description. I start working my way up there on my motorcycle. And I start at the north end and I'm going down the sidewalk on my bike. And as I get to the North Tower, I see a guy that matches his description. That looks like the guy. So I stop about 50 feet away, something like that. And as I'm getting off of my motorcycle, it looks to me that he looks right at me. He turns and looks, and he goes, whoosh, and he jumps over the rail.
Oh, God. Yeah.
And as he jumps over the rail, I yelled something to him, and he reached out and caught the rail with one hand and then swung in and slammed against it. But I thought he was gone. I thought this guy just cleared this whole rail with one swoop and he's done. It wasn't until I got closer where I saw his white t-shirt and he actually slammed into the rail and he landed on this little bitty pipe there. And that's where he stayed. And I walked up, I put my hand up as I always do. Hi, this is how I've learned in my approach. Hi, I'm Kevin. Is it okay if I come up and talk with you for a while? And that's how I usually start things. I'm going to try to personalize everything. And he was screaming at me, if you come one step closer, I'm jumping. He's madder than hell. He doesn't want anything to do with me or anybody. He wants everybody to stay clear, give him a few minutes, and he's probably going to be on his way. So I just kept working on him. I go, sir, because he wouldn't tell me his name for a while. I'm not going to touch you. I'm not doing that. I just want to come up and talk with you. And I kept repeating this and going this, and then a couple of different things. And it took some time before he finally allowed me to come up and speak with him. And when he did, I try to get at eye level with folks. If people see this photograph, they'll see me above him. But this was way near the very end of this conversation. So I don't like looking down at people. I think that's what you're doing, is you're looking down. So I want to be at eye level. So I started talking to him, and he kind of just opened up and started talking, but his head remained looking down most of the time. And he just started talking about all the different things in his life. And he was adopted. His birth mother didn't want anything to do with him. His adopted parents loved him very much, but when he was around 13, they divorced. And he thought he was the cause of this. He broke apart the family unit. But it wasn't. He had nothing to do with it. But it wasn't explained to him. But it weighed heavy on his mind. He suffered from a mental illness, was supposed to be on some medications, but he wasn't. He had stopped it. But as long as he stayed busy, then he was doing good. So he played sports all through school, as many sports as he could. He kept his time busy, whatever he could do. But at night is when he really, really had a tough time. When he put his head down on that pillow, it's when he really suffered. So he did whatever he could to just wear himself out every day. So after school, got a job and was still suffering greatly. But he thought if he started a family, things would get better. So we started a family and had a child. But his child was born a couple of months premature. So now on top of everything, he thinks, what did I do to cause harm to this little baby? And baby had to stay in the hospital for a couple of months. And when the child was able to come home, so did a bill for around $250,000. So now he can't take care of this child. I mean, this is a hell of a bill for any of us. And on top of all this, he just lost his job. So he's just spiraling down. Everything's going wrong. So he said, you know what? I'm worthless. I'm no good to anybody. Everything that I'm doing is just wrong. Nothing's working out. Finds his way up to the bridge, and that's where we met. So he's telling me all this over the course of over an hour. And I thought, what in the hell could I focus on to give this guy this little ray of hope to want to come back over? And I tell folks, and I tell negotiators the same thing. We see it, probably everybody's seen some type of video where an officer or a fireman or a citizen has rushed up onto a bridge or on a building and grabbed onto someone and jerked them back and got them back. Fantastic. Great job. Love it. For me, I wanted folks to come back on their own because I think it takes so much courage to go over that rail to begin with. To come back over on your own takes even more courage. And I think you're going to fight to stay alive even harder then. You have the courage to do it. Let's start it off right. So, uh, getting back to his story, I started focusing on his child. So it's going to have a birthday coming up in a couple of months. I said, man, don't you want to be there for her birthday? I go, it's going to be spectacular. It'd be so much fun having your little daughter running around on her birthday, dad there being present. And we started talking. I started talking about balloons and different things and just getting into it a little bit, trying to put an image into his head of what this could be like. And he started breaking down and getting emotional and tearing up. And I go, okay, now we're getting somewhere. So then, and I do this often with folks, is I give them some time to think about things. And I say, Kevin, I'm going to step back and give you some time to think about this. We've been talking for a while now, man. So I'm going to give you some time. I'm only going to step back if you promise me not to do anything until I come back up here. He goes, okay. So I step back about 15 feet and I'm trying to look other directions. So I don't want just me staring at him. I want to give him some time. But I did try to watch him and he's looking down a little bit, but he's always facing in. So I gave him a couple of minutes. I said, hey, Kev, is it okay if I come back up? Yeah. I raised my hand and yep. So I go back up there and I said, you know, what do you think, man? What do you think about today? And what's your feelings? What's going on in your head? He goes, I think I want to come back. And that's around when that photograph was taken. So I helped him back over, congratulated him. And then I asked him, what did I do that helped the situation? And what did I do that wasn't so good that could have hurt this situation? Because I want to learn and I want to be able to teach and make this better for everybody. And all he told me was, you listened, you let me speak, and you listened. Now, why did it take for an individual to get up to the Golden Gate Bridge or any bridge or a building before somebody can listen when we can talk and do things right here and right now? That's my big question.